Good morning. This is Michael Weinberger with A Plan for Living. Today I'm here to discuss the happiness and mindfulness scale. And this is a follow up to how I defined mindfulness, which is the practice of intentional positive thoughts and behaviors. Today I wanted to ask and define a simple question. How happy are you? How happy are you on a scale of 1 to 10? I used to believe that I needed to be a 10. And if I wasn't a 10, I wasn't happy. And I used to be terrified of a 1. Because how was I going to be productive? The 1s feel like they last forever, and the 10s feel extremely temporary. I feel great right now, but I know I'm going to feel terrible soon. And what I've learned over time with the practice of mindfulness and the management of a mental illness, as well as my own reading and education, is that emotions are here to ebb and flow with you throughout life. There are 5 primary emotions that we deal with in life. And if we look at them, 1 is happy, 2 is sad, angry, afraid, and disgusted. Okay? And as I look at my hand to visualize it, happy is 1 of 5. What does that mean? 20% of the time I could hope to find joy or happiness. 80% of the time my brain is wired to find negativity, right? And so we wake up every day with this belief that we're going to be happy every day. And so what I've learned through mindfulness is that we have to learn how to be happy, be grateful when you're happy, and learn how to tolerate the negatives, right? Learn how to tolerate being angry and disgusted and sad. Learn how to tolerate being afraid, embrace them, and work them towards being happy, right? So I'm going to redefine happiness again. Happiness is being grateful for being happy and being tolerant of all of our other emotions. Okay? I recently went through a bipolar episode where for 4 days I had extreme negativity and self-contempt and self-hate and suicidal ideations. I couldn't imagine making it, right? And all I needed to do during that time was accept that I was experiencing them, know that they were going to pass, and at some point I was going to find joy. At some point I was going to learn from these experiences that I was going to come out on the other end. Okay? So while I lived at a happiness level of 2 for many, many days, I started to slowly come out of it through the use of my support system, through the use of my app, and things got better. So what I'm going to draw on the board for you now is what I refer to as our emotional scale or our happiness scale. And it's fairly simple. And it obviously is experienced on different levels. But if we were to look at this, 1 would be put at the bottom, and 10 would be put at the top. 10 is comparable to watching your sports team. Let's say you're a baseball fanatic and you're watching a game, and it's the last inning, and your team is up to bat, and you have a full count, and the pitch comes in, and your team hits a home run and they win the game. And the stands go crazy. They go wild, right? And you jump out of your seat and you're like, yes, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened. Oh my God. That's a 10. That's impossible to maintain forever. Bipolar disorder is comparable to experiencing this elevated sense of self for days. It's exhausting. No one wants it. I guarantee you. I live it. That's a 10. Comparable. the guy strikes out, and everyone in the stands goes, oh, and they're beating themselves up, and they wonder what went wrong, and all of these negative thoughts come to mind. We start to hate ourselves. We start to hate the world around us. We definitely trip on the way out of the ballpark, and we get stuck in traffic because we deserve all these things. That's a 1. Okay? So now, when you wake up in the morning and you need to assess where you are you jumping out of your seat, or are you stuck in traffic and can't imagine making it home? Okay? So now, if we were to look at that, here's our 1, here's our 10. Our goal in life is to be a 5. And obviously, we're not going to be perfect. We're not going to hit the average. But as we start to reframe and refocus how we look at the world, we're going to start to fall into the 3 to 7 range on a regular basis, right? And this is how we go through life, right? And for those people that suffer with mood disorders, for those people that suffer with anxiety disorders, they have a difficult time regulating this behavior, right? And their life, or let me put it better, my life looks like this. That's what my life looks like. I ended on a down unintentionally. I actually ran out of board. However, I cycle through this behavior. And so when I look at the practice of happiness, I look at focusing on gratitude. As I mentioned, gratitude helps pull me back from here and pull me back from here to get to a more reasonable state of mind. When I focus on looking outside myself, I'm able to give myself the self-compassion I need to remind myself it's going to be okay. I have many articles on my website that I'll provide links at the end of this video, but they refer to trying to manage this process. So rather than focusing on living in this state, which is jumping out of your seat, it's impossible. I'm sorry to tell you that. I'm sorry to be the guy talking about happiness and letting you know it's impossible. However, this peace of mind that you can receive between a 3 and a 7 is incredible. It's acceptance. It's knowing things are going to pass. It's knowing things are going to get better. And it's a level that you can engage in, right? So if we were to look at exercise, the 3 to 7 is a moderate walk outside where you could talk to the person you're with, right? A 1 is crawling where no one wants to be your partner, and a 10 is sprinting when you don't know where the end is. So again, just a short clip on understanding the mindful and happiness scale. I think as people start to have a more reasonable expectation of what happiness is, they will end with better results and truly find happiness for themselves. Thanks again, and I'll talk with you soon.